But good morning, everyone. I had an idea today that if you are a Facebook grouper that has a Facebook group or is thinking about starting a group, or is just somebody who is looking to help in other Facebook groups, I had an idea. So one of the things that I have found to be really challenging in Facebook groups is engagement. Finding ways for people to engage with you. This also goes for Instagram polls and things like that. The more people engage, the better it works. That's how everything always works. And what I have found is that people want to do the least amount of effort ever. They want things to be easy. And we want to make things easy for them. So, if we want to get people looking at more of our things, we want to get people engaging. One of the things that I think could be really helpful is creating polls. Now, I think it's just like it's the shortest amount of time that you can take, and there are really cool ways that you can use if you're interested, things like AI to help you generate polls. So, one of the things that I just did for one of my clients that I wanted to share with all of you guys is she is a functional medicine practitioner that wants to coach people with their health, um, stress and fulfillment. So I literally put the tagline from her bio. It's like ready to I was like I literally anyways, I took it I was like I thought it sounded better. But it's like ready for to help people who are stressed, struggling with their health, want better relationships and need help finding their purpose. That's what I put in there. Literally, these are her pillars, guys. Stress, health, relationships, purpose. And guess what it did? It came up with polls. Like, what would you rank your stress level? What are your primary coping mechanisms for health and well-being? How do you prioritize yourself? Are there things that you want to do? Just literally just asked chat. Oh, see, I was like, does not look like it did before. This is for another client, but this is one that I was talking about before: stress, health, and fulfillment. So those are her three pillars. I was like, can we create 30 discussion polls for them? And I said, I want each three options for each. And she's going to post them in a Facebook group. What you guys can start doing is either post them in your Facebook groups. You can also post them on your stories. Get people engaging. Like, what are you struggling with? What is going on for you? And when we're thinking about the funnel of your business, we want to create the most engagement at the top. Then we want them to opt in. And this is a very simple way for you to see the opt ins, be like, who's watching, who's listening, and then you can engage with them at a personal one-on-one level. I was like, this is genius. Get ready because February is going to be a month of polls in the Six Figure Systems Facebook group and on my stories. It's going to be great. I can't wait to see y'all engage. But that is my little spiel for you guys to give you an idea at the beginning. And I want to hear who wants some coaching, starting with Win. Nadia. I was like, did you point? I was like, I saw a hand move.
I was gesturing, I'll let you go first, and then I
Yes.
realized that
Demetria,
you can't hear
bring it
me.
with a win. And I know at least Alicia was like texting me and she was like, she's stuck in traffic, but she's coming.
Okay.
Demetria,
How did
what
the
is,
launch go, Megan?
oh my God. So I literally decided on Wednesday that I was doing this launch last week, Wednesday,
Mhm.
the week before. I literally took, and you know what I'll do for you guys? Did this for a client yesterday. Would you guys like my emails from the launch? Would that be cool?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
post them.
yeah.
Like I was like, so nope, not this. I've pre-launch 5. I'm just gonna put it in my Google. But what I like to do is I want to make things like super easy for you guys, as you know, it's like my thing. And I made a new January pre-launch emails. So I like to take what I have and I don't, this is the new email name, subject line, pre-header, and the link. So if you just click in here, you can see the exact emails I took, painting the vision, copy paste, change it and make your name. I was like, I do not mind that at all. So each of these, I started it on Monday, the 22nd. These are mostly about the webinar. On Tuesday, I did 3. Wednesday, I did 3. Thursday, I did 3. And I had 5 consults and I booked 2 people for sure. They paid. And one is like, it's crazy, y'all. Like, but I know like it's a very like she's moving some money around. But yeah, like people talking about like closing out their 401ks and stuff. Like that is what one of them did. And she's like, I'm gonna totally close out my 401k for this. And I was like, I love that. That is your energy. I was like, wow, let's go. And it's like just people being able to get scrappy to believe in their businesses. I was like, I will go to, you all know, I'm like, I will go to bat for you. If you come, I will work for you. So within that, I yeah, signed 2. It was a 10K launch at least, maybe 15, maybe more. Who knows? But I
And
was
do you
like,
not like see when that person says, I'm gonna close out my 401k, do you not like worry? Like I feel like, oh my God.
no, because the money that they've already made in their business makes up so like if it was someone that I was like, oh my God, I was like, I don't know if this is a great financial choice for you. And if it was a business venture that I was like, I don't even know if I can support you. I've told people before, I was like, I don't know if this is gonna help you. Actually, one of the consults, it was a guy and he has great systems already. He just switched his niche, but I think it's a really good niche. And I was like, let's wait until reevaluate. Let me call you in March. I was like, but I think so far you're right. You're good right now. You actually, he figured out his pillars on his own. And I was like, so I genuinely think that you're going to do okay. But if you want more support, it would be for the accountability. And I told him to wait. So, because I was like, you can, but I was like, the thing that we would do is, I don't know if it would be as helpful for you. Um, but like the people, there's like one of the guys, another guy, which was, like he was really, really upset. And he was like, I want this so bad. And I was like, there's the other cool thing is like, I'm like, there's so much other shit that I give in the Facebook group for free. I'm gonna start doing live coaching in there too. And so it's like, I'm like, I I want you to get the support you need to at least make your money to invest in this. And then we can talk about bigger structure. But it's like, I want you to get that under your belt. I want you to feel good and then go for it. But this person, like, I closed out my 401k for my business too. Like, I was like, yeah, I was like, this just makes way more sense. Her program, it would be 2 clients would replace her whole 401k and pay for the program. And I was like, okay, this like it really wasn't that much money. And so
Okay.
that's a good question. And no, I was like, because I know that these things work, you know? Good question though. It is freaky. I think the first couple of times that somebody was like, okay, I'm gonna close this account, I was like, but now I'm like, this makes sense. Great. I was like, so, and if anyone has any other questions like that, feel free to like message me. But still pretty good for like, I literally decided like 5 days before, and I was just like, hello, people. And the reason why I did that is I wanted to launch every month. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but anymore. But it's like that was my plan. I wanted to do a launch every month. I figured it'd be good to pre-launch people, get them in early because then I don't have to do as many one-on-one calls. And I was also like, it's going to build brand awareness for 6-figure systems. I was like, people know the cost now. If they need to start saving up, that's what I did. I was like, the second I hear about a program, I'm like, I create a mental savings account. And I'm like, this is going towards this investment. I'm like, I know that I'm probably going to do a different mastermind with another coach, DL, who I really like love. And I'm excited. Hopefully I'll be doing that in May. Um, but yeah, so it's like, and like 200K, always set aside money for that. So I know that there are other people probably like me that are like a hell yes, like right away, and they need to set aside money. So I want them to know the price and be like, all right, I'm gonna save up 5K for this. It's gonna be good. So those are my thoughts. But I'm excited for you guys. I'm like, and I'm even thinking about shifting things for this like next round. But I think it's gonna be really good. Demetria, I'm so sorry for like we went on a tangent, but I want to know how what is your win of the week?
Um, Win of the week. I'm posting more consistently. And I feel good about it. I have all of our notes from our call and have been
Oh, I
kind
need
of,
to email you the recording. I will do that.
okay. I've been going down the checklist, kind of like when I'm doing it, like doing my posts, trying to do my post and my reel, doing those. I don't know. I'm probably a little bit all over the place, so
Okay. Bring it.
I don't know what to bring. So I'm working on that. I'm working on the story brand stuff, which is good too, because it's just a way of saying it right to hopefully engage people. And I think like I can use the story brand stuff and do your cold, warm, hot leads.
Mm-hmm.
So that's working together. Um, I'm just kind of in content creation mode. My
Mm-hmm.
email list is growing slowly, like there's like 1 or 2 people a week, which is good.
Right.
Um, yeah,
What is your, so we're going for the next client, right? We want to sign this
yes.
next person. I want you to think about what, and I want you to think about like you are leading all of these women in the next chapter in their life.
Mm,
You want them to see themselves as having this other opportunity to start businesses, to go and travel, to live their single life if they want to, if they want to start dating. It's like you are giving them the confidence to take the next step powerfully, is the way I like to think about you, you
right.
know? And I want you to think about like, first off, like the value of that in and of itself is like just seeing that there's another option that they have open for them. That's with the story brand that I would love for you to add. I also want you to think about like what when these people are joining this email list every week, have you had a chance to like reach out to them and like talk to them about why? What is their goal? What are the next things? I would love for you to like engage with them personally on a one-to-one level with if you're open to it because I feel like that key, that personal touch, there are lots of life coaches that are they say lots of things, but to see that like Demetria actually gives a shit about me. She actually knows my name. She knows that I'm Sarah. She knows that I am actually trying to like start a business, that I'm starting to I want to leave my job, that I want to travel. We want to figure out what those are. And I
Right.
think that a great question for them could be like, what it's like, what's your what do you 90-day do you it's like what's your big 90-day goal?
Okay.
What comes up as I say that?
Well, that's good. So I have an email sequence, obviously, like a nurturing email
Mhm.
sequence. Um, so I could somewhere in there, because I think I have to go back and look, like the first one gives
I
them,
want them to get something outside of a sequence though.
right. Yeah.
You know, it's like I want them to get like instead of adding this to the sequence, we will get to the point where people are like responding to our emails. But if there's any way that you can reach out to them personally, do you know where these people are coming from? Are they coming from Instagram, Facebook?
They're coming from Instagram.
Do they ask you in an Instagram message for the link?
They're clicking on the link tree thing. So
And
I
do
can
you,
go in, like I can go in and say, hey, I know you've been getting emails from me, but I wanted to reach out personally. I'm totally fine with that
yeah.
and say and ask them, how's it going?
And I
What
want you
goals
to think
do you have?
about like, so it's almost like we're reverse engineering the one person, getting one person to sign up. We
Mhm.
already are doing this awesome content creation. You're feeling good about that. I just want to add that level of personal engagement because like I was talking with like and I'm going to talk with like even more people who are in like the multiple six-figure stage. And one of the things that I found is that a lot of the things that like that personal touch is even what people are telling people to do with ads. It's why someone who is 30,000 people on their email list made 10K last year. Because they like have the audience, they got the people, but they don't have that personal touch. People don't know who they are. They don't know what they're up to. So I think that if you can start doing this now, create a I know you are my like fellow systems and organization person. If we can add to that checklist, talking to people one-on-one, I think it's really going to be like the thing that makes you stand out. And why of all these life coaches that people are like trying to work with, what makes you different? That personal touch is going to take you to the next level.
Okay.
You're getting my emails. I was wondering, what's your big 90-day goal? I'm so excited to help you take that next step powerfully. So, and I would love for you to do that in video form if you can,
Ooh, I can do that.
so that you can be like they could get like an actual video of you talking so that they can like in the way that you've been practicing all that casual like conversational like being like, hey, it's like I'm just so excited that you're here. Tell me more about yourself and all that.
I can do that. I have that Loom or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I can
Yeah.
totally do that. I can figure that out.
I want to know, how do you want to feel? Like as like yeah, how do you want to feel in order to do that? Like what do you want? And also you can think about like how do you want them to feel when they see your message and what do you want them to be thinking?
Um, I think I want to feel curious when I do that. Like I really want to know. So it's like genuine curiosity. And I hope that they will be curious about what it would be like to work with me. I hope that I don't think it will be creepy because I don't think I'll be creepy.
I really like I think that people want to see that you give a shit. And if you use like if you are using like their name, be like, "Hey Emily, thank you so much for following." It's like I am so glad that you're on the email list. I wanted to reach out personally just because I like but like going in and being like, "I'm going to take that personal touch. Like I know who you are. I'm not just sending you like a DM and they're already getting your email." So it's like they already opted in.
Right.
It's like I want you to think and also curious, but like I want them to feel like delighted. It's like I want them to be like, wow, oh my God, like she
Yeah.
sees me, like she actually knows my name, she gives a shit about me, and like that she actually cares about me. Like it's not just another person on the interwebs.
Right. Yes.
What can you think to get you into that? And I want you to be like, I also know we talked about like you really stepping into this like leadership energy, being like, I'm ready to lead some people. I'm ready to show up to help them get to this next stage. I want you to like also have like a like your energy, I feel like is a calm confidence. Like it's like when I think about people being really attracted to you, I think that they want someone who is like gonna hold the stage for them, being like, I got you. But like in a way that like it feels it's a more gentle and grounding energy. Whereas my energy is like a little bit more bold and like in your face a little bit. It's like more like, I got you. We can do this. It's like I want you to think about what you can like what the times that I've seen you really stepping into this energy, what have you been thinking to get to that leadership energy?
I guess when I've been in that energy, I feel like I know what and who I'm talking to and what I'm saying. And I feel confident about what I'm saying. And I feel like I'm getting better because I feel like I'm honing in on my ICA. So I think we talked about it that it's, single woman, no kids. And
Mhm.
I did a podcast last night and I called them swanks. Like, so I'm going to be using that term. Like,
Love it.
are you a single woman with no kids? And I'm going to
I've
use that.
never heard of Swank before. I've heard of like Dinks, double income, no kids. I
Yeah.
was like,
And
I,
thanks, Sarah.
are you going to like, is that you? Did you just create that?
No. Oh, Swank? I
Yeah.
think so. I mean,
Oh my
single
God,
woman with
that's
kids.
so
I'm just going
good.
to call it. And then
I
I
am
want them to
obsessed
live
with
a
that.
swanky life, So that's going to be like
Who is she?
in my marketing, and I'll be
Love
talking about
that. Demetria, fuck yes. Like the world needs more swanks to live swanky lifestyles. I'm
Yeah.
like, let's fucking go. And I want them to feel that energy. I mean, like, it's just so damn good. And like, I would love for you to do something with Christina and be like, I think that would be so cool to be like, that would be fun for because it's like it's like if and then she can help them like if they want to, like if she's got an audience that like any dating coaches that could be a great in and be like, it's like, here's where we differ, here's what's going on.
right.
Absolutely obsessed. Oh man, my chat box
So
is
that's what. Oh, sorry.
go
So
ahead.
I feel good about all that. One thing I've been questioning, and
Yeah,
this I totally just love opinions, like because I've kind of coached myself,
yeah.
like my pricing. I think it's fine. It's 13 weeks. It's $2,300 for 13 weeks.
Yeah. Let's just like take a gander at your pillars again, unless you've changed them. I want you to think about and if you are questioning it, that means that you're not seeing $2,300 worth of value. So I just want to show you, just like I think I did this with Alicia. I was like, the level of the level of confidence they'll have. So they're going to find the direction. They're going to be more organized. Oh my God. That one person who did the closet, I don't know if you like, A, so good. And B, I think they would pay 2,300 just for the closet. I swear. The confidence, the 3-year vision, they have no idea what they're going. They don't know what they want. So it's like, I think that if you can go and show up and be like, oh my gosh, this is your time. I want to help you step into that next level in yourself. Also, as a swank, single with no kids, or what single, what, okay, so
Well,
can you give
single
me
woman,
the
no kids.
single
Single
woman,
woman, no kids.
no kids? I was like, look at that. So it's like within this, it's like for them to live their best swanky lifestyle. I was like, yes. I was like, within this, do you think that if they want to live the swanky life, 2,300,
Yeah, I think they have $2,300, and I think they're willing to spend it on themselves and creating a better life.
they're ready to spend it on themselves in creating a better life. Like, so fucking good. Yes. And I want you to think about like, it's like, you're like, oh yeah, it's like, I know you're ready. You have been ready for too long. How long have you been waiting for a better life to just happen to you? I want you to go out and grab it. That's what swanks do. Swanks go out and seize the day. They are ready to step into that next version of themselves, and I'm ready to take you there. It's like within 13 weeks, it's remarkable about what you can do. Here's what I've done in 90 days. Let me tell you the crazy shit that I've been able to accomplish. It's like, let me tell you about like people in my life, my clients that have accomplished this. You're next. It's time.
Awesome. Okay.
So good. How are you feeling? Complete?
Yes.
Amazing. Nadia asked a question in the chat. She said, how many people sign up for your trainings, sign up as clients? Wait, I'm just going, how many of the people who sign up for your trainings and sign as clients come from outreach? Do you always already have a relationship with them? Not always. So one of the people, actually, all the people who I did consults with were pretty new. Now, in the past, it's been 100% from outreach. I knew every single person coming onto the call. I would say within your first 6 figures, that's probably how it's going to be. You're probably going to know the person coming on. I will say now that I've shifted, I've ventured into the paid ad world. I have a bigger reach now because I've been able to take the money that I've earned and invest it back in. I have now had a lot of new humans that don't know me at all. So it's been really interesting. I had a photographer was one of the people who came. A writer was another person who came, like other service-based industries that I'm like, this is so intriguing. Like I'm like, very, very cool. So within that, I have not had a personal outreach yet, but what I do try and do, like I've got a consult in between calls today, is I do look them up. I do find out a little bit of information for them, sell myself ahead of time. I'm like, okay, how can I help you? What would be my best guess for you? And then on the consult, I sell them. But I also sell in a different way now because I've shifted a lot of things. But I would say for you guys, what I would highly recommend is usually having a relationship with the person. It creates that personal connection. And I'm figuring out a way that I can automate my connections through my VA. And Demetria, yes, about the VA, I'll send you. I was like, I think I saved it. I was like, I need to like, if, but I'm going to have her just follow my protocol for it. I'll send it to you. I saw it in the chat and I was like, I will send it to you and your video. So the different way of selling, great question. I have decided that I wanted to really focus this year. I'm transitioning from selling in a consult to selling on a webinar. So that's a skill that I'm working on learning this year because I know that in order to sell 32 to 35 people, that I'm going to need to sell them right away. The other thing is that I want to learn how to sell faster. I want to learn how to get to people and figure out what they need. And I don't feel necessarily like super confident. I'm literally talking about my coach about this, but I might be revamping this because I really like this, the one that you guys know, it's like it has worked literally like every time. This one, again, with it, so it's like a lot of things have shifted. New people coming in, I'm selling cold to hot, which is a different kind of way of selling. And I just took out the where you are now and where you want to go. So essentially, I have the same setup here. And for the current plan, I'm like, what my goal is that essentially the biggest issue for people is like they don't have a current plan. They have no idea. They've got a goal, but they have no clue how they're actually going to get there. And I'm like, if you're looking to make this amount of money, this is where I would suggest your marketing needs to be. This is where I would suggest your engagement needs to be. I would say that sales and planning for growth are big pieces of it. And then I include just the information here. I usually like push it down a little bit further and I need to change the like, it's like 10 to 12 for this next round. It's this call. They'll be joining. Um, and if you guys stick around, the two people who just joined are like the sweetest, most awesome humans. Like you're gonna love them. They're like so great. One of them's a coach for the life coach school, and another one is like just started out, but also went to life coach school. They're really cool people. But like what I did is I kind of took them through this, and I was like, here's what I would suggest you need. The reason why I also switched to this is the beauty of this one is it's customizable, right? You can like move it around for each person. I'm also transitioning. It's a different skill to sell the group. It's like not as because it's like I'm selling them in a rote way that like this is the first step. Everybody takes second way. So I'm still learning, but that's why I switched it. Really, really good question. Are there any other questions about any shifts and changes I've made? I'm also going to share, Armini and Alicia, I don't know if you were here, but I'm going to share from my launch that I did last week. Here are all the emails. I'll send them to you. If you want to just take them, change them, go for it. And
I already used them.
go for it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I just so that you guys I just want to make your life easier. I'm like, you just want to help people. If I can help you help people easier, like that is the goal always. And so it'll look like this, and you can just literally like, copy and paste it. So you can see, and I sold people 3 emails every day, and then I got 2 new humans have joined, and 1 is on the way, and it's like pretty damn good for like no prep. And it took me because I used these the last round, I'm only going to redo 20% of them every launch. So it's like, if you want to use the exact same shit I used, go for it. I essentially just took out day one because I was leaving on a ski trip on Thursday. I was like, let's just go for it. Let's see. So it was very fun. Literally, like, and the webinar went really well too, which is cool. I'm not ready to teach launching yet. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, I really want to do one more launch and then I'll be teaching it. Because it's like, I know there's a way to do it, but it's just, I want to make sure that it's like locked in, that like I can guarantee that you are going to get this. I think it logically makes sense the way that I do it, but I'm like nervous. Like it's, it's like it'll be an additional system for sure. And I still think it's valuable for a lot of people who are doing one-on-one, because I think that you can launch a one-on-one coaching program. I'm actually potentially going to do it in February. So, Alicia, do you have a question or you want some coaching?
Oh, I'm just in line for coaching whenever.
Well, let's do it. Start with a win.
So what?
I was just making sure nobody else had any questions about the new selling process or anything like that.
Okay, so when I had a consult last week and a follow-up this week, I have 2 more consults scheduled for this week, which is fabulous.
Okay, so we literally just decided that you wanted to bring people in and you brought in 3 fucking consults. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's good. It feels good. I gave a workshop last night.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I had like 36 people sign up, and 5 came live and stayed for most of it. It was an hour and a half. It was it was a workshop. It like literally was a workshop.
It was the goal one, right?
Yes.
Love it.
And let's see.
What's your goal for this like launch?
Oh gosh, I would love to have 5 people.
Let's do it.
So I have a couple things I want coaching on.
Mhm.
Okay, so can I just list them out?
Yep.
Okay, so follow-up call, so consults, um, selling on the webinar, and timeline for launching.
Okay.
Okay, so those are my 3 things. Okay, so follow-up call with the consults. Totally not, just totally get in the pool. Yep, you're right. You don't have enough money. I'm here for you though, if you ever want to come back. So thank you. Have a good day.
Okay. Cool. Don't like immediately. Do you just like, how do you decide this for them? I was like, I just want to know what your brain decides.
Well, it's just so interesting to me. Like I really kind of took a look back at it and it was like, and this has happened. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen where they take my call, they take the follow-up call. And then it's like, yeah, unfortunately, you really can't. And I talk to my husband or whatever, which is fine. People tell me all the time, I need to talk to my husband or my partner or whatever. I have zero drama about that. It hardly ever is a problem. It's not an issue, but sometimes they do come back and they're like, yeah, we just really can't swing it because this is the deal. It's not that we can't swing it, but we can't swing it because the thing that I want to do that I need this program for is so expensive. So
Tell me more.
Huh?
Tell me more.
So they want to take a through hike. Or they're doing a trip. They've already spent the money to do the trip, or they're going to spend the money to do a trip to go a particular place. And they've already shelled out so much money. It's already going to cost so much that the added expense of ensuring that they have an amazing experience without pain is too much.
Yep.
And so so my follow-up question to her was, okay, so what's your plan for solving this problem? Because it's obviously a problem for you. And she said, well, I've reached, It's just so funny. I reached out, I was at a women's retreat this past weekend, so there's money. And I reached out to some of the people who are local and say, hey, who in this group are trainers? And there were several trainers in there, and they're like, yeah, I'll talk to you. Maybe I can help you with this. So there's money. Maybe I can help you with this, not sure. It's not expertise help. It's not all the things she's going to get when she works with me. Like, like looking back on it, I could see all the things, and I could hear Megan in my head going, but wait, there's more. She gets this and she gets this and she gets this, and totally agree with it. But it's like in the moment, I don't have the objectivity or the detachment
Mhm.
to rationalize all of that while we're on the phone. If it were like a live sportscast where I had like a 5 or 10 second delay, I might be.
Well, that's why we want to prep for that ahead of time. So I think that, guess what? You have the 3 strongest posts you're going to post all month from this call.
Oh,
This is the time we take now. I want everybody, if you get an objection that stumps you, bring it to this call. We will talk about how to handle it, and it becomes the best post that you will use for years. Literally, like all of like and then it will become a typical FAQ that you use for like, tell me about the program, all these different things. It's going to be so good. So tell me, now that I want you to step into this leadership energy, right? I want you to be like, I am a badass leader. I have this fucking awesome program.
mhm,
If someone comes to you with money, taking a step back,
mhm.
being like, this is really, really good. What would you like to say to them? And specifically, it sounds like this is a common objection. So we must be a post about like, it's like, have you bought the expensive trip and then have no idea how it's actually going to be working once you get on the trip? It's
Yeah.
like, this post is for you. It's like,
Yeah.
I have seen buyer's remorse from so many people who go on trips and they have a miserable time. And that is the memory that lasts with them for a lifetime.
Yeah,
I do
I
not.
can do that on the post, and I have addressed that before, and that's definitely something I can do again. But my question though is, in the consult, how do I do that without it sounding convincing?
Good
You
question.
know, that's
Let me
that's where I'm like, if I talk about this, I sound a little
salesy, convincing.
salesy. Yeah, a
Yeah.
little salesy. And so how do I not be salesy and address that thing? Like, I don't want to say like, okay, but you're going to get out there, you've already invested all this money. Um, what are you going to do? Well, I know what she's going to do. She's just going to hike through the pain. So what if you could do that without pain? Like, I don't see how that's.
Now, let me clarify for every single person on this call. I do not mean if someone says no for you to persuade them into a yes. That is not what I'm saying at all here. It's they are just needing some help with some thought errors that they're having. So it's like she's having a thought error that she's going to be able to like work around the pain. And I would like to, as a coach, being like, it's like, I think that's a great idea. I'm like, I think that if that works for you, that sounds awesome. Just an alternative perspective is that like one of the things that I want to just point out, since we're already on this call, that I've seen is that a lot of people come to me after they do the trip, after they've used the makeshift things, and their knee pain is worse, if not like debilitating. And so it's like that's just like it's like I know that you see like the journey there. I want to talk about the journey afterward and make sure that you've considered that into this like decision. Again, I respect literally like anything that you want to do is totally up to you. I'm still gonna love and support you regardless. But I just wanted to like ask if you have you thought about that? Have you been considering that?
Yeah, that's a good one. The other objection she had was that, and I knew going in, this was probably going to be an issue, is that, it was a time thing, people, and that's another post that I need to make, is that, people reach out too late.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a 6-month program. She's leaving in May. Like she's not going to be able, it doesn't start till February. So she's not going to be able to do the whole program. So how do I address that? I mean, one thing I could say was if you get the results you want, if I can help you get the results you want in that amount of time, does it matter? Does it matter that you don't make the last 2 months? Or do you want to postpone those until after you get back and you can jump back into the program?
Yes.
You know, so I could have probably problem
Well, I would
solved.
be like, is she gonna be gone for 2 full months?
She's going to be gone for probably 6 months.
Yeah, so it's like I would love to, like, that's where we can just get creative. Never something that you sell or market ever, but if you are open to that, being like, I want to make this trip work for you. I really do want this to be a really great thing for you. And I totally understand, like, if you're, I think that there's absolutely the same amount of value in the time and capacity that you have here. And I also want to offer you that if you are open to it, just an alternative idea is that we could do 2 extra months after you come back to talk about recovery, to talk about how to train for the next one. Would that be something that you would be interested in? Again,
Yeah.
being like
that-
open, curious
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
And I,
That's good. I didn't want to get into like structuring a completely different program for
but now
her.
you've got that in your brain. You're like, oh, she could just
Yeah.
do 2 months later because
Yeah.
you're going to
I
make this
got to thinking
evergreen.
like, am I going to shorten my offer just for her? Am I going to lower? It's like, no, I'm not, no, stop.
And now you can be like, I've totally had somebody say this before. It's like, this is exactly what I did for them. Would that be something you would want to do? And then now you can be like, I've had this situation before. Some people totally do this. Would you be open to that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like share and just be like, those are the ways that I think it just feels so much better for me when I'm handling objections. And I also know I'm like, at any point you can like, and I'll tell them, I'm like, at any point you can always say no. I'm like, I want you to feel really great about this decision. That's the reason I'm asking these questions, just so you know, and like where you're at. And what I found is that the more casual and detached I am to them being a potential client and truly supporting them as a person and being like, I genuinely want what's best for you. I found
Mhm.
that every time is like, they're like, you know what? Like, okay. And like one of my client, the people who is about to sign on, the third one, she is like she really wants to help her mom who's going to be in like assisted living. And so she's like, I really, and I'm like, I will go to bat for you. I'm like, if this is something, I was like, I will I will do everything. And again, probably, but I'm like, I will do. And so you can be like, if you want this to be the best trip ever, it's like, I am here for you. I've got you. It's like, that is one of the things that, so you can paint the vision
Mhm.
of what it would look like as well.
Mhm.
How does that feel for you?
Yeah, that feels better. Um,
Now, the not sure if you could help them. How do you want to address that?
did I say that?
Yeah, I think that you were saying that like it's like these are the 3 things that you listed as like the 3 big things that you saw. Money, what, and maybe let's just start fresh. How do you want to what are the 3 biggest objections that you get? And I want everybody like make a list of this. Like what are 3 big objections, your top 3? What would you say they are?
Money,
Okay?
time. Um, I mean, those are the big ones. And I think underlying for some people, although it comes out as a time objection, is just, um,
Belief that it'll work kind of.
I don't even know if it's belief that it will work, but just overwhelm of adding something new. Maybe it's belief in themselves, maybe belief that they'll, I don't know. Everybody says, gosh, it sounds great. I know this would work for me. It's just what I need. That's what everyone says. Now, whether or not that they're speaking the truth, I don't know, but
Sounds like it's,
um,
I would trust that if everyone's saying that. So that's a good thing. So it's like they believe it'll work for them. They believe in you, the program, it's themselves.
yeah, I think it's probably themselves.
We got the belief and everybody, the belief triad, you
Yeah.
program them is.
Yeah.
So when you get a money objection, how do you want to handle it intentionally now?
I don't want to handle it. What? I'm sorry.
How do you want to handle it now?
I want to say, okay, thank you. Goodbye.
I was like, that is totally one option. I made a list of them. Back in the day, I had a list of all of, where is it? It was like all the objections that I thought somebody would have, and I'll send it to you guys. I don't know where it is. Somewhere good. But it was like, let's see. It's like, look at all the things that I've made back in the day. I'll find it. Like objections. Here was, I think, my list. Money. I had the same idea. After 2 visits, the investment was worth it. As a person, my thought process changed. It totally changed my life. It's like, you're never going to find it. You have to create it. Kids are home all day. It's like, I want to help you. Not interested. Had a response for that. They're still entertaining it. It's like, what? It's like, I did the same thing. The person listened, decided to give it a try. So feel free to take these.
Okay.
Like, that, because I was literally like, same thing. I was like, I had to come up with my own list of ways that I would have it in my own words to be like, this is related. This is good. So and I'd be like, so and I coached myself around it, made sure it felt like the right thing to say, and then I went for it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
want to make sure I didn't get the editable version. But yeah, I want to hear what Nadia had an idea. I want to hear it.
Hey, so I just want to say it's so much easier when you're watching other people because when I've got my own
I
drama with
know,
my own
right?
consoles. But like when I see you, Alicia, I'm like, no. Like it's so funny, it is so fascinating to watch. But anyway, so here's my thought on it, right? So you were thinking like if they're just telling me it's too like I don't have the money, if it's too much money, you're like, right, okay, bye. But then when I'm watching you do this, I'm like, yeah, but they're on the call because they have this problem, right? They're going to go on this trip that they have already spent so much money on, right? So my question would be like along the lines of like, okay, well, what do you think your experience will be if you don't invest in this? Like if you don't do this work with me to get you at the peak performance. And then that's getting them thinking, well, reality is I'm probably going to be in pain, I'm going to hate it, I'm going to like, you're painting the picture of like what that will be like so that they can be like, do you see what I'm saying? So then they're like, it will be awful. So all the money I've spent up until this day is not worthless, but like is nothing unless I can figure out this piece of it. So it's just trying to get them to think of like why is it really worth the money, even if you've spent all the money on that? What are your thoughts when I say that? That's just what I thought.
No, that's really good. That's a really good question. Yeah,
And like,
no, that is a that is a that is a really good question.
Yeah. It's just like you want to get them to come up with it. Like, because if you were just like, but you're gonna have a rubbish time, they'll be like,
That's the deal. That to me sounds salesy, and that's what I don't want
yeah,
to,
for
because I don't want to
sure.
go,
So
well,
you just
I wouldn't want to sound like my mother. Like,
no,
you're
yeah.
gonna
So
really regret it.
my approach is like
exactly.
the lean back, like totally lean back and be like, totally fine. I get it. It is a lot of money. 2,000, 4,000, I can't remember how much it is. A lot of money. But let me ask you this. How do you think your experience will go if you don't do this work? Like, And she's already told you, and what you had said, sorry, Megan, when you were saying, oh, I don't think it'll work. It was Alicia that was saying, she says, when she asked her, what's your plan, getting this other person to help, but I don't think it'll work. So the
Yes.
woman's already telling you, I'm going to do this little makeshift attempt, but I really don't believe it's going to work. So that's like gold. Like, you know, it's not going to work. You know, you're going to be in pain. Like, and that's totally fine, but I just want to let you, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And there's so many other things about her individual thing. So, you know, I was like, okay, great. So you're going to meet with a trainer. How is that going to work with your schedule? Because she's a school bus driver and she doesn't have a regular schedule. She drives field trips. And so she's kind of just always on call.
Mhm.
And that was one of her big things when she talked to me. Like, I just don't have a regular schedule. I can't commit to appointments and things like that. And, you know, that was just another question I could have asked her, like, great. If you see someone locally, how is that gonna work in your schedule? And,
Yeah.
because one of the workouts, I mean, one of the things I told her is like, you can do my workouts on a school bus. I've had people do them in RVs. It's fine.
But the
It's
thing is, she's
literally-
already told you she doesn't think that's going to work.
She's
So
worried.
she's giving you that information. Like, I don't think it's going to work.
She's
Yeah,
already
I don't know
like,
if she actually said that or if I said
Oh,
that.
right. Yeah, I
don't
thought
know where
that's what
that-
you said earlier. You were like, oh, I
Yeah.
don't think it'll work.
well, and so it's like, if we think about
Yeah.
her, like, she wants to make sure the investment is worth it, right? That she's like, like, that is like her belief in these different kinds of things. So what can you say to help her feel like it's going to be worth it?
You mean, are you asking about like features of the program or?
Like, for
results?
her, like, if she's scared, if she's like, I don't know if this is going to be worth it,
Mhm.
what can we tell her to be like, hey, like, I've had people that were worried about it being worth it. Like, I want to hear your thoughts first, initially.
Um, is it gonna be worth it? Yeah, because she's not only gonna feel better when she's hiking, she's just gonna hike better. It's gonna help her to just be stronger overall, and she's gonna hike better, and she's gonna be able to enjoy her experience more. I mean, is that what you're asking for?
Yes. And like, it's like, and if she's like, if she's like saying all these things, it's like, and she's like, I'm not sure if my experience is going to be worth it. Like, it's like, I want to make sure, it's like, between all the things, like, if they're saying every single time, they're like, I know this would work for me. It's like, I know that they believe in you. They're like, I know that this is going to be something that is going to work. I just don't know if it's going to work for me. It's like,
Mm,
that's where this is kind of like the belief in themselves. They're like, would it be worth it to get this amount back? Now, again, what I mentioned before is like coming at it. It's like, I just wanted like making it again to like not be like, it's like, are you sure it's going to work? And being like that lean back energy of like, yeah, it's like, this is where it's like, you're like, it's like, this is the program. This is the way it's designed. And like, saying that it's like based on what you've, and this is where I also, a way I bring it, it's like, based on what you told me, these are the
mm,
things that you would like some, it's like, so this is just like totally based on what you told me. And again, I make it very casual and I'm like, this just based on what you've said, all you need help with, and this is what they want to make sure it's worth it, and they want trust. We want to make it simple, easy, doable. And same with time. It'd be like, based on what you told me, this is the way I'd help you. And it's really simple, easy, and doable. So that's just what I wanted to like. It's like, we would do this and this and this. Like, that's all you need, really. In a way that but it's like that support level. It's like, this is something that I really feel like it's like, based on what you told me, again, is like what we've decided would be a really good fit for you. Those are my
mhm,
thoughts,
mhm.
and being like, but again, totally up to you. It's like, you can still be in the
Yeah.
Facebook group. You've got all this other support. Like, this is all great for you. And again, that's what I mean by releasing like that, like being like, yeah, it's like the pausing that like push at any point. And you just be like, yeah, it's like, these are my thoughts.
Mhm.
you came on this follow-up for a reason. So I just want to make sure you at least left with a plan and idea of exactly how this would like work for you. I also wanted to mention that like if someone's like they come on the follow-up call and they're like, okay, I'm already in now. And I'm like, okay, it's like, I was like, that's fine. I was like, I've scheduled this time. I was like, I want to help you make the best plan ever that you can in this time. And so I'll talk with people and usually what happens, the follow-up calls that I've had where I'm like, let's talk through this. Okay, so you're going to do this, you're going to do this. You don't really have a strategy yet, but that's okay. I was like, you're going to do the best you can. And I've got, if you ever need me, you can always come back to me. I was like, we wanted to like kind of like avoid this like try it yourself learning curve. But I was like, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna like, I was like, if this is not for you right now, these are the next steps for you outside of coaching. And
Mhm.
usually what happens is they're like, oh shit, I don't want to have to do all this. It's gonna be really hard all by myself. I really would rather not. And
Mhm.
I've had so many people who came onto the follow-up and they were like, they became a yes when they were a no to
Mhm.
start.
Yeah, no, that's so good. I think was having this, I have this expert pressure too, and as opposed to just that detachment and casual conversation. Um,
And
yeah.
the other thing is
And just some
like,
of that phrasing is just so helpful, like based on what
I'm
you
so
told me
glad.
and, you
Here,
know,
I'll like bold these things. It's like those are the kind of things that like I think it's gonna take these humans to actually be like, okay, I can trust you.
Mm,
The other thing that I would also add, is like for you specifically, saying all the other people that would be encompassed and being like, well, so based on your knee pain, I would hire, again, I'm a physical therapist. Based on what you've told me, I would recommend getting another physical therapist, making sure that you can
that's
go to those sessions. Do you already say this?
no, but afterwards, as I was doing my evaluations, I was
Yeah.
like, that's what I would have recommended for her, was for her to go back to a PT, not to go to a trainer, to go back to a PT. She's got more going on there that needs to be addressed.
That
Um,
would take to replace me. It's
mhm.
like, and it's like also like I think the nutritional
And
element is
also the
really key.
nutritionist. Yeah.
I want to make sure that you also have that nutritionist. I would like, for me, if I was like saying it, I want you to think about like for each of your pillars, like for every pillar, there's probably a person that would take
Yeah.
that place. It's like, so it's like thinking about that for everybody. I'm like, okay, so there are a bunch of different like marketing coaches that can teach you different strategies. I would highly recommend figuring out a strategy. It's like, cause and there are ways that you can just like, I mean, it's a lot of extra, coming to the time objection being like,
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, it's like you can totally do that. And then I would also recommend investing in something to help you sell because if you're not bringing in sales, like there's a key problem here. And if you really want to get to 100K next year, like I would really recommend that you solve that. It's January. I want you to solve that soon. I want you to be like, this is the plan. It's like, I want you to make sure you're ready. And if you are also like, if you don't know how to talk to people online, it's like there are lots of people who do it. I don't like to do it in a really pushy way, but there are also other people who teach it a very different approach. So I'm like, my way is like having a conversation. It's like easy. I would really recommend you start having conversations. A lot of people teach it in a different way where it's like very like it's a little aggressive for my taste, but you can find somebody. And then I would also recommend you figuring out someone to help you plan, especially with your finances. Like, I don't know if like, but you really need to make sure you kind of know where the money's coming in and out. But I was like, I know you can do, and I genuinely say that. Like, I hope that people who don't work with me figure all that out on their own.
Mhm.
Like, I'm like, who really like are like one of the people I was like, I want to do everything I can. Here's exactly what I would do. And I want you to sign clients and I want you to like the second you sign somebody, I want you to like I'll help you with the rest of it. I was like, but like this is what I would recommend,
Mhm.
you know?
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's a good idea too, and that I need to, right, just take more time. I think too, just giving myself more time,
Mhm.
especially on follow-up. And sometimes because follow-ups aren't an issue for me, like I guess maybe I don't have enough preparation, you know,
Mhm.
um,
I think those
and,
are the
and don't
hardest
give
sales.
myself
They're
the,
some of the
the,
best though.
yeah, because most of the time people come, if they come to the follow-up, they're usually like a yes, but then I have these these ones that come and they're like, she even had to reschedule. And I'm like, oh, well, she's going to just say, text me and say, no, I'm not going to do it other than reschedule. But she rescheduled like she wanted to talk to me. So
Because she does. Let's just
I know.
assume that if they're coming on consult, they
Yeah.
really would like to talk to you, actually. It'd actually be really great for them. Even if they come on, they're coming on, they're like, I just want to let you know I'm a no. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, like you took the hour. Let's do something with this hour. I was like, that's totally fine. I was like, let's get down and dirty. Let's figure out something. Because
Okay.
the reason you came is for a reason. And I want to help you out.
Okay.
But
No,
those are
that's,
like seriously some of the best time. Like those are the best calls. Some of the best marketing ever comes from those.
yeah. Oh, that's true. That's true. And some people I've had good conversations with who genuinely like, this really isn't this, I really can't. And so, and I do, I have that conversation of, of like, yeah, okay, so look, you need to really start just walking every day. If at the very minimum, you need to do this, and
Mhm.
then you need to do that. And so get that freebie that I sent you and do those things.
Go with it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I want you in the Facebook group. I want you participating. I want you telling me about how those walks are going. I want you to be engaging in there. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to do that. Like you've got a fucking huge Facebook group. I would be like, I want you in there. I want you talking. Those people are going to drive the engagement and you're going to make the money that I would have spent for them to invest with you. I want you to make it for every consult that is a not now. First off, not forever. Like I'll be checking in with you. I'm gonna see how that hike went. Don't you worry. I'm gonna still be reaching out to you. Feel free to reach out to me. Like make it real casual. And then also being like, you like those people become your new best asset.
Yeah,
The free
no, you're
people,
right.
the
Because I do
people.
have somebody who was like that, who I did a consult with, and she was a no, we can't afford it. But yeah, we just had the conversation and she shows up and I have encouraged her, and she is my biggest cheerleader. She's never paid
Mhm.
me a dime, but she'll say every time, she'll say, I'm so grateful for how much you've helped me. And I'm like, okay.
Exactly. And so it's like, so then there are people who are watching that can pay for it and they're hearing her say it every time. And so you just made your investment back on the 2 hours, 1 hour that you spent with her on the consult. You just made 4,800 from.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, that's a good way to think about it. Okay.
I know I spent a lot of time on this, but this is, I think, one of the best calls that we've had about objections. We really haven't talked about it that much. I've considered adding it, but I really do think that this was very important for you guys to hear. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling about consults in general? You asked a couple of different questions. Feeling good
Yeah.
about the follow-ups? Tell me more about consults. Are there any other thoughts there?
Um, yeah, I just, again, it comes down to taking my time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if I've always done 30 minutes for my consults, and I just do them on the phone. And I'm wondering if I go through all of those pillars, I probably need to schedule more time. I probably need to schedule them for an hour.
And I want to show you that the 30 extra minutes that you would take, I want to just paint the vision for where your business is going and why I think it's worth it.
Okay.
If you learn how to sell really well on a consult when you take a full hour, you know
Mhm.
exactly the problems that they're facing. It's first off, all of your marketing forever is in every single time that you're like, what should I say about knee pain? Let me pull from Katie's consult. Let me see what she said. The second, so it's like it's worth it for easy marketing. You can just take a uh where they are now, where they want to go, make it a post. The second thing that it's worth it for is you are now learning the next skill, selling on the webinar. If you know every single thing that they're going to say already with their marketing, with their sailing. I sold for an entire year and I did like around 60 of the full hour, 60-minute consult for business owners. I figured out how to sell to a business owner and it helped me to sell on the webinar because I knew what words I needed to say to shift their beliefs to see that it's possible for them to experience a transformation. That's all selling and marketing is shifting their beliefs to see that it's possible for them to go to the next stage. So I would say that like it is fucking worth it for you to like take that hour, really dig in, figure out exactly what their struggles are, make your marketing super easy, make your and all the objections like gold. And I would go through and I would finish up still around minute 45 and then take your time, learn really how to talk through objections in a way that sounds good to you. Because the way that it's like we want to find a way that makes you feel not salesy, really as a leader in this space, in the knee pain hiking space. It's like what feels good to me as I'm showing up as this leader, and then going in and bringing it back, and then you can sell really well on webinars and in future things. So those are the reasons I want to hear, but that and taking time beforehand have been two of the most pivotal things that have really shifted my business, and that's the only reason why I would try and like sell you
Mhm.
on the idea of taking a full hour and maybe doing
Yeah.
it on, if the group is virtual, maybe doing a virtual um consult to show them what it looks like, especially because you and nobody else has to have this, but Alicia, you have this huge back end. You have like a calendar, you've got workouts, you've got all this stuff. So if they have questions, they can't see it if you do it over the phone.
Mm.
It also gives you experience, like showing your face, experience selling and it with your face, and that's also skills that are going to be very, very useful for the future.
Yeah, you're right.
These are just my thoughts. It's like, see how I told you? It's like it feels easy. It's just like these are my,
Well, it
I
doesn't
have
feel
my own
easy.
opinion.
No, back up. It doesn't feel easy. It just feels
It,
like the right thing to do.
okay. I was like, it's 30 extra minutes. I was like, you got this. Cause that's where your business is going. It's like you're
Yeah.
wanting to go here. So it's almost like you kind of tried to sidestep that step.
Yeah.
Like do like a 30-minute consult, and where it's gonna really set that foundation so that this can be evergreen and literally like you can just be signing people in like it's nobody's business.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I hurry, um, and I forget steps, and my nervous system gets activated because I know there's a time constraint. So, I think that that's all true. That's all true.
Maybe it would
Yeah.
be
So
easier if you
set
did it
aside.
before.
Yeah. So no. And then the virtual, consultation. Yeah. I'll have to I've never done it, so I can try it.
Yeah.
It
And
also builds more connection face to face, doesn't it? Like,
it
and
brings up more
like
people.
the way Megan does it, loads of people are visual learners. So like literally seeing like the pillars out and your plan and all that, like, because some people don't really get it as easy if they can't see something. So just thought.
Mhm.
Hell
Yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
traditionally, again, for visually impaired humans, like obviously, but like literally, like traditionally, like 80% people like to see your face.
Mm.
Builds know, like, and trust quickly. You can read them. And that's another skill that I think you might have sidestepped that we want to rebuild is like being able to read someone and know their investment level. Facial recognition is something that is like I can see somebody when they come onto a console. I can tell if they're closed off, what I need to do to open them. Can tell if they are really sold and I need to sell them harder. I can tell if they're thinking about it but need me to sell them harder. My approach shifts drastically just on the way that I look at humans. Cool
Mhm.
human psychology. That's like literally why I like love coaching because I like love psychology and I'm like it's just so fascinating. It's like what are their motivators? What are their drivers? The second I see money, do I get a face? Is there a lean back? Is there a lean forward? You know? It's
Mm.
and then you learn how it's like what does that mean for the majority of my people? When they lean back with money, it means that they're usually like nervous. I can see it in their face and it's a cool help because you can hear it. You can definitely hear it, but I think that Nadia, great point about the visual learners. And there are studies that also go to show that like it's helpful to see your face. Now, I have heard studies that it doesn't really matter, but I found that since as a former teacher, 80% of people are visual learners
Mhm.
and along with other tactile,
Yeah.
it's great to have multiple modes of mentality.
Yeah. Um, okay. So
How's that?
That consult form that you use, that's in
Oh, it is.
4, that one,
It's
yeah.
in. I'm going to put it in the thing.
I hope other people are getting something out of this. This is super helpful for me.
I was
Just,
like, I think this is helpful for all the humans. I'm like, I really do. I'm like, I really feel like the selling I could redo at a different time and do it again, you know?
okay.
Selling
Um,
webinar.
okay, so selling on the webinar, here's my deal with webinars, and it's just, I've put them on my calendar, so I'm just gonna commit to doing them, connecting with people, but I went through and looked at your like cash to chaos and your slides, and I got really dizzy and I put it away.
Awesome.
But the point being, it's a great structure and it's a total sales structure, and I don't give sales webinars. I give instructional
Informational.
lectures.
I love that because that is how I started. I think it,
Yeah.
and I think that information can sell itself. So I think that you're already at a really good starting place. I've
Yeah.
had people who have contacted me in my new mastermind. Sharon went and she, or not my new mastermind, just like the afternoon version. She went into my website and she looked at all of my webinars and watched all of them and was like, I'm like, just came so sold already. So it was like, awesome. Information does sell. It is important. However, we want to just take them to the next level. So I don't want to take away any of the information that you're using. I want to maybe adapt it into a really bite-sized way that they can leave with a good takeaway. They're like, oh, I feel like I've learned something and I'm moving forward. And I would also love to give you the perspective that an hour, 90 minutes has already made their life better. You've done an amazing job of already including things in their, like helping them get that far. But what would be better, 90 minutes or 6 months?
Oh,
And by not selling on the webinar, I want you to see that the exchanges that they lose out on 6 months of working with you that would have changed their life or will change their life to paint the positive vision. You know, it's like 6 months of their life will be better because you're in it.
mm-hmm. Gotcha.
That literally, that was the thought and changed it for me. It's like, what's better, 60 minutes or 6 months? And I was like, I will forever be changed for this.
Yeah, no, that really is good. That really is good. So I'm going to study it, and I think it's an important realization that I'm coming to, and I think I'm it's taking me a minute to just transition from that academia kind of
Mhm.
approach to the selling, but I'm committed to it. I'm going to do it. It's a tap.
Hell yes, you are.
I'm going to work on it. It's a skill I can learn, right?
And it's like just sell yourself on why it's good for you, good for them, and good for your business overall,
Okay.
your goal. I'm also including the guarantee your goal. I think I sold better on this one. This webinar. I think that the slides, if we're thinking about like strategy, because I think I encompassed more of the pillars and this was
Mhm.
vague. I copied and pasted this from chaos to cash flow. Um, and then I clarified it here and I feel like I liked this
Okay. Yeah.
better.
And your slides are like, I don't know how much time you spend on all that, but I mean,
Literally an hour. I did
come
made all of them.
on.
I was like, it took me an hour. Because I know how to do it. I copy and
Yeah.
paste the last ones. It's a
Yeah.
skill. Again, willing to take your time. It took me like 4 hours when I first started. Took me like forever. But if
And
you want to bring your script to the next call, let's work it and let's do it.
can I ask you a question though, just on the mechanics of that? So you do your slides through SlideGo or whatever?
Slido, yeah. Because I liked using, because now if I ever update it,
It
I have
will
the slides
automatically.
right
Yeah.
here.
So, but let me ask you this. How do you then give the presentation? Do you give the presentation from that slide go, or do you do it through, do you download it and then do it? How do you do it?
Just Zoom.
I know, but then you share your screen.
Mhm. good technical questions. Yeah. So I
you-
literally like,
But when
oh,
I share my
sorry.
screen, I have to just share the portion of the screen, but you're sharing the whole screen, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Okay.
And then what you do
And where do
is,
you keep your notes and stuff?
so I have also, I got paid for many years to be what's called a teacher, and I learned how to do this. And so I just like, I learned, I was at like that content weekend and I was like the only one that could just like, I was like, oh, I just like say what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
first off, for marketing, it's taken me years. I like it's a very different skill, but teaching, I actually feel very a comfort in teaching because I did it for so long. I had to
Yeah.
do I do like 7 presentations every day for every subject
Yeah.
for my
Yeah.
kids. And it,
Yeah.
it is different with adults, but like it took time. I would say
Yeah.
a good tip would be to practice ahead of time. I
Yeah. Yeah.
still say my sales speech in the shower. Like
Okay.
every day before I actually sell it, I still go through my spiel and I'm like, let me talk to you why six-figure systems is the best thing for you to do right now. I want to talk to you
Yeah.
about early enrollment, why it's so important for you. But I get that. And then I do it as I'm like cooking and shit. Like I'll just be like, all right, it's like, so I know. And I'll do it for reels and stuff too. I'll be like unloading the dishes and I'll be like, I'm taking out the dog. I practice my animation that I would like to convey and that I'm thinking about what do they need to think and feel as I do it. And it really is helpful to translate into what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay. So
So
there's
I
some
would say have patience, but those skill building of learning how to do a webinar is going to be worth it. That's going to pay you back dividends as we go. Because
okay.
if you're thinking about growing your bit, like the skill of doing a webinar is going to be something that you're going to utilize for years to come, and specifically selling on the webinar. I want you, my goal for you, Alicia, is that you love selling as much as you love coaching. Like you have so much fun with it. You're like, I just want to tell you about it. It's like, let me tell you about how for everybody, I want you to feel the same like excitement. You're like, oh my God, I've got a consult. This is gonna be the best day ever. Not just because it could
I
be a
think we
client.
should I think we should sell each other's like a next single lady
I know. I was like,
meeting. I'm gonna be like, let me tell you, you gotta get hooked up with my pal Demetria. It's like, what you're trying to build a coaching business? My girl Nadia is your girl. Like, and here's all the reasons why. Like, I could totally get animated
it
about.
actually is so helpful. I think that like I can sell other people's businesses better than my own for sure. It's just good to know how to sell something. I feel like I could sell literally anything now because I've
Yeah.
had to build that skill.
Okay, yeah, and then the other question, just timeline wise, so like I gave the webinar and then I
When did you
have
give it? Monday?
yesterday, yes, and then I'm doing consults this week and then my program starts on Monday, but I feel like that's just not enough time and like I just didn't get enough sales emails. Like, so how far out and this is something I've struggled with, like how far out do I start writing
The sales
sales
emails.
emails?
So here's
Make
what
an offer, and every email I send out has a PS offer at the bottom. So I'm always doing that.
which is great. As do I. I would recommend that for everybody. Always have an opt-in. I would also recommend, so if we're thinking about like for your sales emails specifically, the first time you write them, it's going to be a bitch. I'm just going to be real with you. It's hard. You have to think about things a lot. Once they're written, then you are good. Here's the way I like to do it. And actually, coming back to my launch strategy, I'll tell you what it is. I was like, the way I like to launch is I like to take the warm, hot, and cold that I typically do every week. So I just double it. So I instead of doing 3 topics, I do 6, if that makes sense. And then I do 1 selling the program 3 weeks prior. This is for group. This is not for one-on-one necessarily. I wouldn't do this right now for you guys. But this is just if you're launching a group strategy, 2 times typical marketing, and then have 1 topic about group specifically. Then for the week of, it's like week of, this could go for everybody. I like to sell the group, and I just like to do 3 a day for
Wow.
5 days.
Okay.
And you can look on my little thing that I sent you guys. I don't know why it's not showing me this. I was like, I would like for it to just show me.
Well, I guess I'm not sending out enough.
I think that that would be like, and it would be worth it to invest some time into it. But as you can see, I've got the cold, warm, hot, yellow's cold, orange is warm, red is hot.
You know,
I'm-
out of all out of the almost 3,000 people that I have on my email list, one of them messaged me my last launch and said, this is way too many emails. Can you consolidate? I only want them once a week. And that means that everybody hates it all the
I
time.
love that thought. And it might not be true. Might not. I was like, how many people on your email list?
It's just like in my Facebook group, Maggie Reyes coached me to start using the @everyone tag. And I don't like it when when I get tagged all the time, you know, with those. And so it was interesting. I don't know if anyone else has Facebook groups, but she coached me that like, okay, well then you're not invested in those groups. If you get an @everyone tag and you are irritated, get out of those groups. It doesn't make any sense. But if are the groups that you're in, don't you want to see the posts? I'm like, well, yeah, when 200K has something important, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I want that. So I started using it, and I don't post every single day, but the last time I did it, there were a couple of people that got on there and were like, why are you using this @everyone tag again?
Mm.
Yeah, this is going to make me leave this group. And yeah, I agree. And sigh, I can't believe this is, happening in here. And like, there's this whole thing. And
Mm.
my cheerleader lady, who I talked about earlier, was the one who alerted me to this was going on inside of a post. And I addressed it. I said, look, the reason I do this is because otherwise you're not going to see it. The algorithm isn't going to, well, that's not a good reason. And yeah, that's blah, blah. And then I just deleted the post and sent them all a warning. And I was like, don't worry about it. Because when I use the @everyone tag, that's when I do get engagement. That's when people do participate.
Literally every time. And if that's not the kind of group they want to be in, then that's fine. They can find another hiking group. It's like, that's totally fine. Bye. Love you,
Yeah.
mean it. Wish you the best. It's like, and I would ask, I would be like, hey, it's like, it's one of the things that I realized is that like, so I got some Nastagrams as well. And I was like, hey, like, thank you so much for your feedback. I truly appreciate it. Like, I genuinely just wish nothing but the best for you. And I also, like, this is just the way it's going to continue to go. Feel free to leave. I'm not offended in the slightest. And I truly appreciate you being in here up until this point. Do whatever
Mm.
works best for you. I'm telling you it is. I'm going to just give you a forewarning. It's going to be coming. I'm going to be using it a lot more. It's definitely a shift. So anytime there's change, people hate it. Every
Yeah.
time. There's like people hate change. But the people, it's like again, it's like I just want so we can just be compassionate and be like, hey, I totally get that this is a shift for you. Totally
I
get
love
that.
that compassion is your go-to, Megan. It's not mine,
Do
but
you
I
know
love
why though?
I love that
Because
it's
of
yours.
teaching. Because of freaking teaching. I had parents
That's
coming
true.
in raving mad. And I was
Yeah.
like, they would just come in. And of course, people have like people are triggered. They've lots of experiences at school that they hate. And so that like when people came in mad, I came in calm and cool and collected. And I was like, hey, I was like, I really hear what you have to say. It sounds like what you're saying is this is what you're saying. So it's like a lot of times what I'll do is I'll like
Sure.
restate, um, create connection and like empathize,
Mhm.
inform, offer, um, maybe not solutions, but like when I was teaching, that was kind of like the way I did it. I've never thought
Mhm.
about it like this, but I'm like, yeah, it's like, what to do with mad
Yeah.
humans. I would be like, okay, so here's, I want to make sure, is this what you were saying? Okay, great. It's like, so I hear what you're saying, and I totally get why you'd be confused about that. Like, that makes so much sense to me. Let me tell you, I want to let you know that this is going to be a shift. It's going to be a permanent thing. I'm not going to just stop doing it because I got so much feedback also that it was really helpful for people. And I'm seeing that there's more people engaging, which my goal is to help as many humans as possible. So this is where I'm coming from. And I this is what I have to do to help as many people as possible. It's my mission. But I also totally understand if that's not a part of what you want to be a part of anymore, feel free to leave. I wish you all the best. I can't wait to hear about that. I hope that I can see about the hikes later. And I hope you have an awesome day.
Yeah. Okay.
Kill them with kindness. It's like, huh? Huh? Like, speaking like, yes. But you know what I mean? It's like, that's what you do. It's like, they're just mad. They just want to be seen, heard, and understood.
Yeah, that's true. I think, and everyone, if you haven't experienced that, you will.
Yeah.
At some point.
And sometimes want to be heard just to be heard. It's like, I get that. I felt upset in times of my life when I didn't know why I was even upset. And
That helps too with feeling calm about putting yourself out there. I think too, if anybody has reservations, it's like that you're going to get some negative feedback. Like, yeah, you probably are, but this is how you can handle it. That's helpful too.
yeah. Like I've gotten so many more emails now that I've gotten bigger. And like it was so funny. I looked at this video, y'all, and it was just of a home renovation. It was just like somebody painting a wall. They were just painting this wall. It looked cool. And the comments were ridiculous. It was like, okay, we get it, you're rich. Fuck you. It's like it's like I can tell you're a capitalist pig. Like all of this craziness. And I was like, oh my gosh, those are some hurting humans. There's some sad humans. And I'm just really grateful because now I know what color I'm going to paint my wall. So I reached out to her and I said, hey, I saw that. And I was like, I just want to let you know, like, thanks for still showing up. That's not really, I know it's difficult. I know it's weird, but I appreciate it. And thank you for doing what you do. Keep it up. And so it's
Okay.
like there are people who are watching that will not say that to you, that will not give, but they're watching.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I've taken up enough time. If somebody else has got some coaching, thank you. That's all been so super duper helpful.
Of course. And I will teach this better in the future, but that is my quick teaching now.
Harmony, if you want coaching, you go ahead first because I've had coaching and you were not here last week or so. So you go ahead.
It's funny because I'm like, I don't want to be coached.
Oh no, I was
I'm
like, but
doing
it's so
I'm
fun.
doing the live class, the live webinar tonight. I'm like, no, I don't want to be coached. I want to stay in my bubble, in my things. I don't want to shake anything. Like, and I've seen that for other things. Even when I prepared the in-person workshop in October, I'm just in my thing doing it. And yeah, I'm like,
Well, I think that this is the beginning. I want to offer to you that the universe has gifted you this opportunity today on January 30th, 2024, for you to step into thought leadership, which sometimes means identifying some things that you might not love to move forward to help your humans. It's like
Yeah.
you are meant to help so many people. I am loving all the videos of you, and I want to hear a win, and let's get to it. Let's get you helping peoples.
well, a win, I finally decided to launch a series of monthly webinars. Not even one, but I've already like set up the dates for the next 2 ones. It's going to be the last Tuesday of the next 3 months.
And is that
And
tonight?
even
Is that what you
tonight in
said?
a webinar, I'm going to tell them there's going to be 2 other ones. Like, so then
Look.
I'm going to do it.
Well, this is awesome. So you're doing a webinar tonight. How do you feel about it?
Well, I took today off from work and yesterday off from work because I had the outline. I did all the media thing and the social media, and I reached out with my emails, and I have 15 people registered, and I'm pretty sure a good 7 or 8 are going to show up. Same for last time, I only had 6 people registering, but 4 showed up. 2 that I don't know at all about. I think it's through social media. And the interesting thing is that I did the opposite. I did the outline and I started to talk about it, promote it. But usually I do the opposite. I have everything figured out what I'm going to say to make sure, and then I do the promotion. And so it brought a lot of nervousness and anxiety. But I'm doing it, and now I'm more caught up in technical things because I don't have 2 screens.
Okay, so the fun
And
fact
if I want to
is like,
share my presentation, then I'm going to be caught up in between. But I'm figuring this out. I have a few more hours, and it's going to be fine.
well, and
it's
the
gonna be
thing is,
cool.
I also don't really have 2 screens. Like my other screen's over here, like, and I just have it up. So I really
Yeah, I'm just
like.
going to say there's going to be a few silences. I'm going to switch, going back and forth. And it's only 10 slides. It's just to have something, which first I didn't want to do. But then if I'm putting my offer at the end in my QR code, it's going to be weird that I show up with the slide just at the end. So I did something very simple using SlidesGo. Yeah, I'm doing it, but it's the same. Like I'm excited and I'm a little bit anxious about it, obviously, but I'm doing it anyways. But I can
what-
see already in my mind, I'm anticipating, like, I know when it's going to be done, and I'm going to see if there are so there is a at the end. So I talk about, I mean, this the way you taught us, briefly about I zoom out, talk about my program. I would love to, like, they're ready to transform their life, and like, so to get on a call for a consultation, a connection call. I have all of this ready, but I know that as soon as I stop the webinar, I'm going to have to send a replay and do all the other things, and it's not going to be the end of anything. But at least I would have done it, and we'll see what's coming out of it. Yeah.
And I want to offer to you, how many webinars have you done?
Oh, this is my first webinar. I've done in-person coaching workshop in October, but it's the first time I do it live. It's the first time I have put it on social media. It is the first time I'm going to have people I don't know about.
Which is so like, I just want you to remember, this is the beginning. You're gonna look back on this day, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this is when it started. First. Second, it took me years, like, seriously, like the first 2 to 3 years to get 15 people to register for a freaking webinar. You're killing
Not
it.
50, 15. I'm sorry, no, not
1.5.
50,
I'm
15.
also saying 1.5. I agree.
Okay.
I'm like, it was difficult. I was like, and I swear to God, y'all, I reached out to like 120 people and nobody would register. No one. And I was like, this is awesome. I'm loving business. We love this. And it still worked out. I was like, we are loving all the things. Now, within that, I want to know, what is your goal of the webinar? I like to set an intention and be like, wouldn't it be fucking cool if X amount of humans like signed up for this?
Yeah, for sure.
What's your goal?
Well, I want to get consultations, and I want to get, I mean, ideally,
many?
I would like to get at least 2 paid clients from it.
Let's do it. Like, let's think about these like 2 amazing clients. Consults coming. I want you to think about when you're showing up as this leader of transformation. And the way I'd like to think about you, Armini, is I think about you are a transformation in the transition. It's like how to transition powerfully through stuff that you kind of might have not expected to go through, and using it for you and making it become like your hero's journey. Like, that's the way I like to think about, like, the way that you've shared about, like, it's like, okay, just figured out I have to single mom it. We're just gonna go for it. What is the topic of the webinar tonight?
It's create your future. So
Create.
it's about deciding what's coming up next for you, because this is what I hear the most.
Yes.
And
And
they're not even going through challenging events. It's just the daily, I mean, you know, everybody.
Yes.
So,
I want you to
which is
think
one of
about
the thoughts I have the back of my mind, though. It's like, but the people who are showing up, I mean, some people are not even married. I have 3 men. It's very diverse, actually. I know someone's like a really high executive some bank, like a very powerful woman. I mean, a couple powerful women. Someone from our workshop from October, very say high level executive women. But people who are single, and I'm like, yeah, but how would divorce resonate with them? Like, I don't want to talk about that, but this is what got me into that. So, like, adversity, and this is something I said, but I'm like,
don't you
most
think
of the
that
time, I know when you talk about divorce, people think like, oh, poor little thing. And I'm like, no, this is not what I want to show. But as soon as I said the word, I know this is what they're going to think.
what do you think that they're gonna think if you say the word divorce? What do you think? Or you oh, like that's so not. I was like, as a person who knows many divorced people, that is never my thought. Ever. And it shows, like, I think that one of the things that, like, you don't have to share it if you don't want to, but I think out of great adversity comes incredible outcomes. It's like, I
Well,
want to
yeah, this
share
is exactly what I'm sending them on. Like, obviously,
exactly. So I want
but
you to sell your
I feel
adversity.
like it should be another type of adversity that would talk to them more.
Okay, then we could do that. We can go change the sea instead of changing your thoughts. Totally fine.
But
However, I
which
want
is,
you
I'm just making this up. Like, I'm not, yeah, yeah.
with the webinar tonight, I want you to go hero's journey that's the path of least resistance for you. However, I would love for you to also consider doing some thought work around your story about being divorced, what the like, and potentially because I think it's something that will resonate with people. That's just totally my opinion. You do not have to share it at all. I just think that it could be useful for people to see you like, oh, you can go through this and get so much better. Actually, Sarah Bond, she wants to be a coach for people who are going through divorces and things like that. And that's literally like her whole thing. And it took a really long time for her to be able to share it so openly. And now it's going to be working for her. So for you, I think that that could be a really great just angle in the future to be relatable and also for people to be like, holy shit, she's killing it. Now, I know that every single person on that call is coming because they want to create a future that's fucking awesome. They want to do that regardless of what their status is, their income level, their whatever, right? And how cool is it that for this first webinar that you've done, you got a large audience? You got in a very diverse audience. It's like, so you're reaching people at a lot of different places. What do you want them to be thinking as they hear you talk tonight?
That something different is possible for me.
What do you want them to feel?
I think it's a lot of determination, or I guess excitement, but I know that excitement goes up and then, so it's like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to believe it, so I don't want to, yeah.
One of the things that I really like to do,
Driven.
what is it? Driven?
I don't know, driven like,
Mm-hmm. So you can just tell them, it's like, I literally, like, I use those words at the beginning. I'm like, I know that you are seeking efficiency, clarity, and direction. I also know that you're passionate, committed, and solution oriented. I tell them what they are and why they are what they are, and tell them that they are the person that that is wanting this. Same thing for this one. Predictable and this, and again, same, literally copied and pasted it. So I want you to talk about them and be like, I'm so excited that you are at this Create Your Future webinar because I know that you are some of the most determined people that I've ever met. You want to create this future for yourself, that you are insanely driven and are ready to create something possible, like something different for yourself. That's exactly what I want you to start this webinar knowing that this is exactly possible for you. And I'm going to tell you this and this and this. I also want you to see yourself. I know that the first time I coached literally like the guy that had like the $20 million business, I was really shaken. I was like, oh my God, why did he pick me? Like, and it's like, I want you to trust that the people are on this webinar for a reason tonight. I think that you're meant to be in their world for something, whether it's just to hear, have this thought, and for them to do something awesome with it. But I genuinely do believe that every single person that is there for a reason. And I want you to think about like the world is trying to teach you right now is that like the world needs more people like you, Harmony. They're talking about creating your future. And it's an opportunity to step into this next level self-concept. That like I can lead CEOs, I can lead men, I can lead all these people and change their fucking life. So this is where you might have to access if anyone feels like a serious like in self-concept. Like I was asked to present for this thing that I'm going to in 2 weeks. And I think I'm the lowest earner. Again, for sure. Probably the lowest earner. But I was asked to speak about social media and like the systems I use and things like that. And I am now relying on the confidence of my future self to show up powerfully in the present. I'm like, okay, this is where I'm like, really, like, I don't feel confident yet to be speaking to I'm going to be coaching. I'm presenting to my coach who's been coaching me for 4 years. And I'm going to be like, so this is what you should do. And so many feels. But I also am like, I don't think this opportunity would have come around for if it wasn't meant to be. There's something I'm supposed to learn here. I'm supposed to figure out something in this. And I think it's because I'm supposed to lead at this level. I think that you're supposed to lead at this level. So I want you to like think about your future self. First off, what is she doing? What does it look like for her? What does this business become like 5 years from now?
Well, that's a question for me.
And for everybody.
Well, in 5 years from now, I've transitioned to full-time coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm helping people in Manhattan. All those crazy people who think they're too busy and they don't have time, and alcohol and drugs are so cool. They're coming to me, parents.
All these people. And I want you to see, like, and they just come and it's easy. And you're like, it's just a damn delight. You're like, oh my God, this is incredible. I know exactly what to say. I know how to bring them in. I want you to access her. I even think about like mine's wearing a white pantsuit. She's right here. Like she is cheering me on. She's like, this is what you need to say. This is how you can feel. Let's go. I want you to think about her and I want you to think about channeling her. What did she say? What was she thinking as she was going into this Create Your Future webinar?
We're gonna just shake things up a little bit.
Yes. What emotion does that create for you?
It's excitement.
Mm-hmm. And okay, people shit on excitement all the time. It is my favorite emotion. I was talking with my friend Tanner, and he has a $3 million business, and he is 24. And he is like, excitement is my favorite way to feel. And I'm like, me too, man. I'm like, so if excitement is what this future you is feeling, let's fucking go with excitement and not shit on people's feelings. I always say, like, don't yay my nay. Or don't nay my yay. I was like, I'm gonna feel yay. Don't you shit on it. Now, when we're thinking about that version of you, she still has to write all these maybe a couple emails afterwards. She still has to do stuff. But I want you to think about, is there anything that you would do differently, say differently? Is there anything that she would like be thinking for this webinar in a couple of hours?
Yeah, I cannot come up with something right now, but I think
I just want you to do things the way that she would do it. Like,
I'm really pretty upfront in the things that I'm gonna say. So
I want to know, what advice does she have to give you? So the
well,
last
for now, just like continue doing what you're doing, and don't flip your whole script right now, just before the webinar.
and I'll say, this is the way I like to give myself
Just
future
adding the little tap things.
in a couple of things. And what I like to say, like when I talk to my future self every day, I've been there's a lot of shifts going on personally for me right now. And so I have been heavily coaching myself, relying on my coaches more than ever. And I've been self-coaching. We got back in the habit of it. And like what I like my future self to say is, it all works out. It's like, I know you're fucking stressed. I know that you are feeling all the feels right now, but this is what happens with other things in your life. Everything's okay. You make it out so much better. It's like you're freaking out, and I know you freaking out, and their feelings are valid, but it all works out and it's so fun. So just have fun with it. There's nothing you can do. Focus on what you can control, and do the best you can, but it all works out and it's fucking great. It's like all like so it's like and I always add it'll never in the way that you expect, but it's always so much better. So it's like, what would like she's like maybe like, okay, like it's gonna be all right.
Sure.
Yeah. It all works out. You're fucking awesome, Harmony. I'm so excited for you tonight. I just want you to look at them, be like, I wonder who of the 15 are these two clients? Let's find out. Let's go get them. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, I love the victory dance, Harmony. I'm like, yes, victory dance our way. Is there anything else
That
that
would be
you're
a
looking
victory
for?
dance.
Are you feeling good? Feeling complete?
Yeah.
Let's
Like it's
fucking
like
go.
I don't want to be feeling anything else. So I'm just like focusing my like
Just focus
I
your
don't want to let
energy.
my mind go to all the places. So I'm like,
Mhm.
yes,
Constrained. Future you got your back. We have got your back, and we can't wait to hear how it goes. Gotta be
yeah.
good.
I'll let you know.
Amazing.
I'll share my victory dance.
Yes, obviously. I was like, put it in the chat or put it in the stream. It's gonna be fucking good. All right. Nadia, do you need any last minute? I do have a minute. And it's like, if you have some time, I do not want to, if you have to go, I also love you.
I just want to ask a little thing about, so normally when I've been coaching, most of my time is coaching. But since we did sort of my pillars, modules, pillars and whatnot, and I brought on this client, I feel like I've got a lot to have to teach. So
Mm,
in the 2 calls that we've had, I've not coached really at all in it. And I'm like, this isn't what I'm supposed, do you know what I mean? Like I'm like torn because I'm like, I think she needs to learn these things. And I think that's partly why she came to me. But I know that actually the knowledge is important for sure. Like she, having structure and like having knowing things and stuff. But I'm like, when am I ever going to coach her? Do you know
Yep.
what I mean? It's like, so I'm struggling to like I feel like she's not going to get as much out of it if she's just getting information versus actually coaching her brain.
Okay. So this is like a
Help me.
fucking beautiful moment. I'm so glad you're realizing this right now. I think that when I think about coaching, literally like through coaching, I feel like all things are possible. It's like it's fucking awesome. I do think that there's a time and a place for strategy and things like that. But it's what I'm hearing from you is it's sounding like you don't necessarily want to be teaching strategy the whole time. You don't want to be like teaching the just actions, right?
No, I've never done that before. I've always mainly coached, except
Exactly.
for because I've sold this program. Oh my God, she needs to know all this information now.
So I want you to, with the pillars and things like that, what I would love for you to do is think about the coaching aspect of each of those things. Here are the thoughts you need to have when you're marketing. Here are the thoughts you need to have when you're doing lead gen. Here are the thoughts you need to have when you're planning, whatever it is. It's like those kind of things. It's like, I think potentially the algorithm might have sent you people that were looking for a line, that were looking for strategy. So now, first off, I think of course she's gonna get what she came for. Like, oh my God, she's so lucky to be working with you right now. Like, this client is going to get a fucking over deliver because I know you. You're going to fucking bat for her. You're like, okay, I'm gonna give you some A line, but you also are working with her for how long? 3 months?
Yeah.
6?
Well, yeah, 6 months. But
6
we're
months.
doing every second week, which is not ideal, but that's just the way this
Gotcha,
works.
gotcha. Okay, so what now? I think for the future of your business, I want you to market mindset. Not ever saying mindset, but I want you to be in your marketing saying the words. It's like the reason why you're getting the reason why you're not getting clients is because you got shit thoughts. So your thoughts are like this, you don't believe in this, it's a terrible time. And it's like, I'm the person to help you shift those thoughts. It's like, and or say it in a way that's really compelling for them, like where they're like, it's like if you've ever had the feeling that you get onto social media and you are just feeling dread, this is the program for you. You're going to learn how to shift the way that you think about marketing every single time that you come to me. That is what I want to do. One of the things that I've found is that people who want, like, I love coaching strategy and I love coaching mindset. So for the time being, if you get people that are like looking for straight strategy, I think it isn't like, I would find it like, be like, okay, like we're going to teach a bit of strategy, but the real meat and potatoes is the mindset. So give them,
Yeah.
it might be a bit like just thinking about like me as like a potential reference, just so you can hear it. The first half of the program is strategy for the most part, and the second half is a fuck ton of coaching. So it's like within that, I'm like, I recognize that like I'm sharing this stuff and I've made it interesting for myself. I actually enjoy talking about it. So I do still market strategy, but then I also have that like beauty of coaching. Now, for this next client, I want you to be thinking about for this specific client, I want you to think about like maybe you split the time 30-30, 30 minutes, 30 strategy, and 30 minutes A line or 30 minutes mindset.
Yeah.
And you can split it like that, or you can be like every other session. But for this person being like, I want you to like, we're essentially learning how to market and sell mindset to coaches. And it's going to be so easy because they're fucking coaches. So they get it. So a lot of times they're on
See,
it.
because that's the thing. So I used to with content talk about mindset, but then it was like I learned like it's like nobody wants that. Like talk about actually a line and like talk about result, like rather than just mindset. So I was like, right, so I veered totally off of anything to do with mindset, and all I'm talking about now is my pillars, like we created, right? Which
But the
is
pillars, we could have the mindset angle for them. That's the thing. It's like, and I feel like, so one of the things that I've talked extensively about many people is there are some people who are really big players that are selling strategy and they are terrible. It's mindset. But you can sell mindset. You can sell mindset to like, it's like if you could sell mindset to general life coaching clients, which is literally what they're coming to you as a coach, right? Let's think about this. Their goal is to sell mindset. So you have to learn how to sell mindset at this level too, because then it's going to help them to learn what thoughts to think. Because right now your thoughts is nobody like there's a thought that you have, no one.
well, that's what everyone keeps saying. Do you know what I mean? And even when you and I spoke, it was like, no, we're not going to talk about that in our
We're,
marketing. We're going
we're
to talk
talking about,
about pillars.
yes,
So
but
do you see what
it's
I'm saying? So this
mindset
is
with,
where my confusion is. I'm like, I
yep.
don't know.
I was like, it's mindset within the pillars. So the overall direction, you talk about the lack of decision making as far as the purposeful business foundations. I don't know if you've changed them or kept them, whatever. It's like you need to know the mindset of the person you want to work with. You need to think about the niche. You need to think about your program. You need to think about why are you changing what you're talking to? It's because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in your program enough. We need to make you something compelling. Do you see how I'm talking about the same thing, but I'm not talking, and you can still include the results in there. When you change who you're talking to, you figure out your direction and you're going to be able to sign more clients. Literally like model in it. It's
Like
like,
what?
it's a model. It's like, if you could think about it like that, it's like, okay, so what are the thoughts that they're having that they're not being productive in time management? I actually did this like ages ago. I did a model for each pillar. And I was like, what are they thinking, feeling, and what actions are they taking? Now I really like strategy, so I talk a lot about strategy. But what is fast, like, it's like, I want you to just get in the mind of a coach. You and I both believe so much in the power of coaching, right? And they do too, right? Like coaches, I feel like are the secret to the world. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we can get just really curious and be like, what are the thoughts they're having? How can I say that thought in a way they hear it? And that's what they need to hear in the marketing when it's like, oh, she's giving me really good thoughts. Maybe the warm post of the week is about it's like, this is a powerful shift. I call it a powerful shift transition. Whenever I'm talking about thoughts, I'm like, here's a shift, a transition, or a way to transform your relationship with blank.
Could you write that down in the notes so I remember that?
Oh, yeah. I was like, So we gotta sell them on Shift.
So then, so wait a minute. So when I'm doing my marketing, should I not, or do you think I should mix between like A line and T line?
You get to choose. So it's like you could, if you want whatever strategy you want to teach, go for it.
But
Like
this is what I believe. I believe they need to know the strategy, right? And I think they come to me because I'm telling them there's a simple system. You know what I mean? Like this is what we're gonna do. And but once they learn that, then I need to coach them on all the drama around doing it. Like that's the kind of way I think of it. It's like, so this is how to market. And
Mhm.
I literally can teach them what I know about marketing. I can teach them what I know about like the A line of
do you
selling
want
because I've
to?
sold for years. What?
The question is, do you want
Pardon?
to? Do you want to?
Yes, because I
Okay.
also don't believe that you can just think your way to get the result. Like there is a way to market, there is a way to sell in a compelling way, right? And no matter if someone's like coaching your brain, sometimes you don't know. Like there is better ways to market. There is better ways to think of hooks. You know what? If someone comes and they have no idea about any of it, then
Then
I
they
can
really do
coach
need,
them, but they don't, they still don't know.
they still, it's like, even if like, it's like you can teach them the marketing strategy, but you know their thoughts are still there because you'll look at their marketing and you're like, this is not it. It's like, it's not it. You're like, you're
Yeah.
like, you're close, you can see it, you get the concept, but it's like, I can
Yeah.
just, I know that you're on the verge of it and it's going to get better. Now, for you, then you get to choose. You're like, okay, so there is a time and a place. Maybe the first month we talk about strategy. I just give you the foundation. And then the next 2 months are coaching. So that way you can let your brain know you've only worked with this person two times, correct?
2 sessions. I've got another session on Friday. But then
Okay.
she's wanting to, I know she's going to want to come and get training. It's like training,
Mhm.
right? And
So
I'm
I do
like,
that with my
but in my
one-on-ones
head, I'm
too.
like, but that's not helpful. Like, it is helpful. Don't get me wrong, it is helpful.
Yes.
But for me, I just believe so much in the coaching that I'm like,
The
she's not
coach,
got any of that yet.
but I think that like, so then what I would do for your warm is like where you could do mindset and like strategy too. Like you can do you're like, which do I sell? And I'm like, then you can do a little bit both. But for her, I think that she just needs like, how many more sessions do you think of strategy does she need?
Um, well, at least a few. You know what I mean? It's like I
Decide.
need to go through all, I basically need to go through all the strategy of the pillars.
Let's do
So the
that.
first time we did overall direction, then the next time we didn't do time management, so we did marketing. So then I still need to go through my time management pillar and my selling pillar with her.
Okay.
And lead generate, like lead gen, she's not really got anything to do with that yet. The marketing, when we did that, it was more sort of
The overall.
outbound marketing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about time management, incorporate lead gen. The first session for then now you're creating a process, right? So then it's like, okay, so first session, we talk about direction. Second session, we talk about marketing. Third session, selling. Fourth, time and engagement. It's like, so then you can sell it. It's like the first 4 sessions gonna be like, it's gonna be strategy heavy. But then to take action on the strategy I've given you, we're gonna need a lot of mindset. So you're setting this expectation for them and for your brain that like, this is my flow, coaching flow. And fun fact, literally what I'm thinking about doing for this mastermind is having extra bonus sessions for the people who are starting and giving them the essentials. It just so you can think about this as far as if you would like to scale to a mastermind or something like this, you get really good at doing this and then you have open coaching calls. And that's what I feel like is going to be the shift for me is that it's going to be like I do essentials with the beginners. Once they've checked off those boxes, then they can come into the big group and get coached on whatever. So it's
Okay.
like, I think that this is actually like the fact that you figured this out now is genius. I think it's so fucking good. And I also think that like I see you avoiding a mistake I'm seeing some big people making right now because they're selling the wrong thing. And if you think about the front facing side of your business, you've got marketing, sales, and delivery. So it's like if you are marketing strategy and they're getting the delivery of coaching, I think that you might have some people who come in there confused and
Yeah.
they don't love the experience of that versus the now you're cleaning up your marketing, you're including mindset in it and being like the biggest downfall I see in every coaching business is not coaching themselves. Mindset is the key. If you master your mindset, you can master business. But I see a lot of coaches thinking they've got the coaching stuff down. They know how to coach someone else. When it comes to business, they completely forget mindset. They forget that it is the critical element that takes your business to the next level. That's what I'm here to do. Not only am I going to give you the strategy, but you need to get your ass coached. Your brain is mess when it comes to business, and that's why you're messing your outcomes in a kinder way. I wouldn't say it like as intense, obviously.
So, do you think I can't even think if I am? Like, I don't even know what my content is. I'm like,
Oh,
oh
well,
my God.
excellent. I was like, well, because I've seen you post. I was like, I was like surprised that you said that. I was like, oh, I was like, well, then there's the key. I was like, I think you've been talking a bit more about strategy. Change, that's another good word, but it's how to come up with content. Um, so, like it's like it seems like a bit more awesome. Love. I cannot wait for that. It was like, how'd it go, by the way?
Oh, well, not great. Only one person came again, and then she was a no on it. She just said, I just don't have the money. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, so I didn't get a
Did you save
consult
it
from
though?
it.
Did you save it? Or
Yes.
what I would do is I would if you want, you can re-record it and be like, ah, so sorry the it didn't get recorded, but I still want to teach you guys about this. I genuinely, I actually that I think that happened for this one. I forget which one it was. No, it wasn't this one. It was one of them, but I genuinely like I was like, fucking shit. Oh, it's not on here. It was for I
Yeah, but
did
you
a
can save it
four-day.
without them, the people showing up.
It's just more expensive. And your girl's cheap and cheerful. I was like,
Oh, is it? Well, I can do it with mine. I don't,
which is like the regular sharing your screen.
yeah.
Oh, I could make it so that they could, oh, then perfect. So yeah. So if that is the case, then just use that, put it on your, like, it's like great information for future clients. Awesome. But I would say that like, then like secret to getting things done. It's like, this is but I would add maybe like the mindset, like calendaring is so much better. So it's like, then you could be like, the problem with to-do list is calendaring. So it's like this is talking about a line for calendaring. You could do another post about the mindset behind it. It's like if you're procrastinating, you've got a mindset problem, not a time management problem. Time
Oh, this is
management.
throwing me so much because I'm like, I just kind of got clear on like, don't talk about mindset.
Well, I think that I was like, I think perfect though. Okay. So like
Ah,
literally big players who are making millions of dollars, it's a lot harder to shift when you got a team, you got all these other people doing the marketing for you, and you're like, from what I've seen, it's taken a while to get clear. And it's still not clear. Thankfully, you had this realization today. It's like you got
so
clear.
do you
How long?
think, so do you think then, sorry to interrupt,
Mm.
I don't know, I don't know. Because I used to always talk about mindset and then I was like, that's not working. So I'm going to talk about A.
Just do a little like now you get to do a hybrid of both of the things you feel confident about. Talking about mindset, I instead of seeing this as like a dead end, I did it wrong and I need to change everything. All I'm saying is sprinkle in a bunch of the shit that you've already been doing. That's really good.
Okay.
Let's do some of that. Because it's like you're so good at like I've seen literally when we started working together, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking gold. I was like, who is this Nadia? I literally thought that you had made, look at you. I was like, I thought that you had made millions. Literally, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know why she's coming to me. I'm like, I don't know.
That's deceiving though. I don't know.
I was like, no, no, it's not deceiving. It fucking phenomenal positioning. It is like, I'm like, this is like when I get branding, I'm like, I want it to look nicer. I'm like, damn. It's like, I love it's like, this will help your business. So it's like, it's the reason all this stuff that you came to me with, this is literally you're just adding it. You
That was
already know
over
the
still.
skill of doing this.
Yeah. Okay. So right, in regards to my person then, should I just keep going with strategy first?
For these 2 more sessions, tell her,
Yeah,
communicate.
I think I'd
r-
switch them around though, because I think she needs to work on like her time and her engagement and then selling, because she's not going to be selling until she's
Engaging.
engaging.
Perfect. Exactly. This is what I do. For sure.
And should I tell her that and say,
Yeah.
just so
Oh,
you know?
so if you think about like the thing with what to do with grumpy people, inform them. Tell them. I was like, you guys, it's like, so here is like, it's like, I know it's like, she wouldn't be grumpy necessarily. It's just me instead of like that. It's like people who are about to experience something changing. Cause we don't know, but it's like, I just want to let you give you a heads up. It's like the flow of the next couple coaching calls. We're going to be finishing up with this strategy and then we're going to be focusing on your mindset because what I'm seeing in your mindset is reflected in your marketing. And I want to get into that as soon as like we just go over time and engagement and we're going to go over selling and promise like those are just the basic things that you need to know. From there, we're going to get to work. You are going to learn how to change your mindset to really see yourself as a thought leader in this industry. We're gonna get you going.
Yeah.
We're gonna get you seeing this. You're gonna be like, I want you showing the fuck up and being like, it's like, and that level, literally, like, I realized that that is a huge strength for me. It's like I can see people's badassery within them, and like when I coach them, I'm like Nadia, I know that you are going to have this is going to be a multi 6-figure and probably $1 million business for fucking sure. Like this is because you and I'm like, I can just see it so well for you. I know it's so needed in the world right now. And I'm like, one of my goals is to like help you see that in each session so you can continue to show up like the level of badassery, even with one person on a webinar. I'm like, yeah, nobody has to know. I'm like, still showing the fuck up. Like
Yeah.
for a bunch of mine, I'd be like, so there are 3 of us and we're gonna fucking work. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where the confusion's been, because
Oh no,
lately
you're
all I've
muted.
been
Am
doing
I
is
muted?
A-line marketing.
Did I lose audio? Can you hear me?
Yeah?
I can't hear you at all.
No, I
Fucking
can hear
strange.
you.
Nope.
I
Oh
don't
my God.
know.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna mute and unmute. Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear
You can
me?
still hear me. Okay, I'm gonna mute you and I'm gonna unmute you. That's so weird. Can you unmute yourself?
Can you hear
Hello?
me?
Ah.
Can you hear me? No.
Oh my God. It's fucking Siri. I was like, stop, Siri. I don't know what you're doing, but I can't hear anybody. Stop. Close.
It's okay.
God damn. Hold on. How do you close out of Siri? I don't even know what Siri. Okay, hold on.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
Okay. Can you talk now?
Can
There you go. I'm like,
you
Siri
hear
was
me?
listening to the whole last bit. Nope, don't come up again. Okay. So how does that feel now?
Yeah, I feel like I need to then revisit what I've been marketing. I just need to more incorporate it, because that is what I'm about. I genuinely believe that coaching is the secret. Like the stuff is what they need to know. These are the basics. And I'm happy to give cat set on mat like instruction, because I think people want that as well.
Mhm.
So I'm going to give them the instruction, but then I'm going to coach them on actually the implementation of all the instruction.
Yes. And when you have that aligned, when you're like, I am clear that like, this is who I am, this is what I do, your people need to hear that. They need to hear you saying it in that way. And they're going to come flooding to you because they're like, she gets it. It's like, if you're a coach that can't sell coaching, you need coaching. It's like, I'm going to talk to you through the trifecta of this ironicness that's happening. It's like, you know what I mean? Because it's like they
Yeah.
think that because they're a coach, I genuinely think that like a lot of people are like, well, I know how to coach myself. So I can coach other people.
Yeah.
But they're like, coaching doesn't like, it's like, I've been trying to coach myself through the shit they're experiencing in business and it doesn't fucking work. Because they
Yeah.
need someone else.
And I actually think coaching, getting the training of a coach, and I've wrote about this the other day. No, maybe I didn't post that one. Anyway, I'm writing about it. it actually messes you up for marketing.
1,000,000%.
Because like, because I have other businesses that I can market easy, but coaching, I really struggle to like figure out how to do it because you're just busy in the coach world. Like,
Mhm. Oh yeah. And what that you can totally, it's like 'cause you're surrounded by coaches. Of course, you think that like it's like whatever. I feel like I want you to share that. It's like I really struggled with this at the beginning, and then I learned how to sell it. I learned, and then you shift into
Mhm.
business coaching. It's like that can be a part of your hero's journey. Is like once I figured out I could sell coaching, I'm like the world needs more of this. This is my personal mission. This is my philosophy. Why this is important to me. The other thing I would add is
Mhm.
that. Oh shit, it was here, now it's gone. Oh, talking about me and being like, I as a coach who has sold coaching, I sought out a business coach because I knew that I would need help to sell coaching. There are so many things that
Yeah.
I am in this mastermind with all these people, and I'm hearing other people get coached, and I can coach them like no brainer. And the second that I get coached, it's like, oh my God, it's all this stuff comes up.
Oh
And
God.
every single time, I know that this is happening for you. You can't see your blind spots. That's why you hire coaches. I want to be your guide. I want to be like, you know what I mean? It's like, look, it's like it gets posted
Yeah.
every single week. It's like I show the fuck up and I get results. I want you to show the fuck up and get results too.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Of course. Give me a
I
win
need to
real
draw
quick.
the balance of it.
Just a balance. It's like, but
Oh,
you're already so good at it.
a win. Well, I had a consult and I had a random consult, but she
Hey,
randomly booked in, nothing to do with business though. I was like, where did you find me? She found a post. And in my post, I wrote, I've got businesses, I've got kids, I take them, but so hers was more juggling life, but it was the weirdest consult that we didn't even finish. And then I've
oh
not
yeah.
heard from her. I'm like, right, okay, that's just a blip. I don't mind.
Yep. I was like, I've had like there was like a wedding photographer that was like came in last week, and I was like, how'd you find me? I was like, this is just interesting. I was like, I want to be shifting to service-based businesses, but it was like, I just don't even know. And she was like, I actually don't know why I'm here either. And I'm like, cool. Well, I'm going to tell you what I do, and you're going to tell me what you do, and we're going to see if it's a good fit. I was like,
Was it a good fit?
no, I don't think so. I was like, I messaged her and I was like, I think here's where I could help you. If you want to make a course, if you want to do something like this, I think I can help you create a curriculum. I was like, this would be a better fit for one-on-one because I do think that, however, I do think the stuff I teach you in six-figure systems is what you can teach your VA to optimize your social. I think you could use this VA to be doing this. I think that it's just like a cheaper alternative for you to learn the tactics, and we could go in this first session and make your program. I was like, because she's gonna teach photographers how to like photograph photograph but
Take photos.
photographer. Yes. And so it's like that's what like her passion is. And so I was like, I feel like this could work for you, but I want to be honest, the majority of people are coaches in here. And so I was like, I just want you to come in knowing that this would be, and I told like Morgan is within real estate, and she knew that coming in. I was like, coming in, I want you to know it's the majority of people are coaches. However, these skills are timeless and can be used for any service-based business. So I want you to still bring
Yeah.
it,
Okay.
you know?
Okay, cool. Right. Thank you so much.
Of course, I'm so excited for you. I feel like this is gonna be because I was looking at, I was like, I thought you were like, yes, hell yes, strategy, and I was like, oh well, then we could do a pivot.
Yeah, I think I went down that route, but I feel wholeheartedly believe. But it's similar to you. You teach all the strategy, but the main part is like, not the main part, but like the coaching is the most
Oh yeah,
effective because you can know how to do it, but you might not do it.
that's why this isn't a course. I was
Yeah.
like, it's not a pay and go because I would not sell something I didn't believe in.
Yeah, exactly. The knowledge alone isn't enough.
It's
Like it's
not.
just not gonna be effective. Okay, cool.
But no,
Right,
yeah,
okay.
you
Well,
were a
thank you so much,
badass.
and I will talk to you soon.
I know. I'll talk to you next week. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.